Hi, everyone. Welcome to Math 119X, Statistics with Support, we call it, Fall 2020. So I'm your instructor, Ryan Moore. I just wanted to shoot a video for just a few minutes, introduce myself, and obviously talk about the class a little bit and some questions you may have. Hopefully some things that'll be helpful to know now before our first meeting, and that sort of thing. So for one, where am I? I'm obviously at my home. This is my front porch. Um, it's kind of got some afternoon sun coming in here, being blocked a little bit, but there's my trusty lamp. You can also see my barbell hanging out back there. You got to stay fit while the gyms are closed, so I enjoy that. Um, kind of a little bit. So, I mean, this is where I work, right? So outside, we'll see. It's been fine. Last spring was fine. Summer was okay. Kind of a little bit warm in the summer. We'll see how working here on my porch goes when we get into like November, December. You might see me like shivering and that sort of thing. So okay, enough about me. So what's going on with the course? And a few questions. So what is this idea of it being remote? Maybe you want more details on that. And then how exactly is Math 119X? How is it different than Math 119? Maybe you know some of these answers, but it probably it'd be helpful to hear it from me, right, and how I interpret those things. So when we say that the class is remote and not fully online, that means we have set meeting times. So our meeting times are going to be Monday and Wednesday from 9:35 to 11 via Zoom. So I'll direct you to where you get all the Zoom link, and all that information in a little bit, and it's in a document that I attached as well um, that you see in that email. Um, but that's kind of the gist of what remote is. Like, we do meet just as if we were meeting on campus. We meet live, and I'll have things prepared for us and that sort of thing on Mondays and Wednesdays, 9:35 to 11. Okay, so what is the idea of Math 119X with statistics with support versus just Math 119? So the idea behind Math 119X, the with support, is there's no prerequisite, right? So we don't expect you um, to be coming in here with any background math skills or concepts or anything. So what that means for us being online or being remote is when, let's say, we're coming into a lesson that's going to require some prior knowledge in algebra, then before we get into that, I'm going to talk about that algebra topic and just exactly what you need to know, not all the deep math connections and beauty and the sort of things which are good, but I'm going to tell you just exactly what you need to know. We're going to practice a little bit, and then we'll go into the regular lesson. Okay. Um, we're also going to have, a more lengthy review at the beginning. Still, it's just the one day, but it's more than what I would give in a typical Math 119 class without the support. So in the end, we're still going the same pace as a 119 course. We're still covering the same chapters in the same time frame, but we give extra time, maybe before a lesson or before the whole class, just to say, okay, so what prior knowledge would we not talk about in in Math 119 that we are going to talk about here in review before we get into it. Um, Other than that, the way it breaks down, if you're curious, like what would show up, on my transcript, and maybe some of these answers, but really Math 119X is kind of our slang. What will show up on your transcript is Math 119 and Math 15A. So you'll see these two courses, Math 119, no distinction between any other Math 119 statistics, but then you're also going to see this one unit lab course called Math 15A that you're also enrolled in. So the Math 15A is the with support. So in 119, you're going to get a grade, a letter grade, ABC, right? In the Math 15A, it's just pass or fail. So how does that work? So, in Math 119, we're going to have labs, we're going to have homework, we're going to have tests, We're going to have these longer term projects, which we do in statistics. So that'll figure out your grade. For the Math 15A, we're going to have labs. And the labs are, it's kind of nice, and it's just a pass or fail for Math 15A. So the labs are all just pass fail, and you have to pass a certain percentage of the labs to pass Math 15A. Those details are in the syllabus, but that's basically how it works. Thing is, though, we just blend these two courses all kind of at once. So you're getting some assignments for, most of your assignments are going to be Math 119 assignments, but all the labs that we do are going to be Math 15A assignments, and that's just the distinction. So what type of assignment is it that determines, how it influences what grade. Okay, and the math, all the labs are pass fail. So that's kind of the gist. Obviously, if you have questions, I'm open to answering those sort of things. So what else? Just kind of on the note of the course, I'll tell you guys, before last March, I never taught online. I am not an online expert in any way. I keep things real simple. So I'm going to teach this course very much like the way I would teach it if we were together on campus. We've got all the same types of assignments, the labs and that sort of stuff. We don't meet for the same amount of time, but all the lectures and things that we would be doing live, they're going to be in videos. So I kind of discussed that before. One thing that's, if we can kind of go, well, I'll come back to that later. I've got my list of things I need to talk about, so I'm going to go in the order that I flows the best. All right, so not an online expert, going to keep it real simple. Right now, if you're watching this video, our course Canvas page, that's our website, is up and running. So you can go there and check it out. Might be helpful to see that before the class actually begins, before our first meeting. Again, I keep it real simple. It's basically one page, and it's got our syllabus, the calendar, some learning resources for like tutoring and that sort of thing. And it's what else? It's got our link to the way you'll connect to with Zoom. Okay, so you'll see that that's up and running. You might want to go there, just kind of check it out. What will happen when we actually meet over Zoom, like in these live meetings? So we're gonna do. I'm gonna have things prepared for us. We're gonna do some problems together. There's also a way for me to break us up into smaller groups, like students into groups of like 3 or 4, and you guys will work on labs and things there in the live meetings. And I'll kind of hop around and see how people are doing. So we'll have things prepared for these live meetings. By the way, in a remote class, the live meetings are like coming to a classroom. So attendance is taken, they're mandatory. So definitely want to know that ahead of time. You have to come to these things. Okay. What else? So let me talk for a moment about materials. What do you need for the course? You might want to know that ahead of time as well. So what's really nice, we don't have a textbook. So you won't have to buy a textbook. Our textbook, if you will, is all of these documents, these, each chapter that I've typed up over the last few years of teaching statistics. So you won't need anything beyond that. And I'm going to post all these, they're PDFs. I'm going to post them all on Canvas little by little. And I'm going to, the lecture videos are going to be kind of reading through those and then doing the problems together, or me working them out and talking over them. Okay, so you don't need a textbook. What you do need, you'll need an online subscription to what we call StatCrunch. So that's kind of the price of a calculator. It's like $15, and you'll need an actual, physical calculator. And there's a couple other things as well. I really try to keep the cost as low as possible or free if I can. So StatCrunch is like a statistics calculator. It's really cool. We're going to use that a lot, especially as we get deeper into the course. And then an actual calculator. And okay, again, all this is in the syllabus and things. Okay, so what I also attached in this email, I attached a get to know the course and a get to know you. So I think it's a good idea. I'm just asking a bunch of questions in the Get to Know the course. And that's how you'll kind of hit all these topics like what are we going to do in Zoom meetings? What materials do you need? So go in, and there's also instructions about how to log into Canvas if you're new to our district, if you don't know the username, password, that sort of thing. So go ahead and log in, check out our Canvas page, and you'll see our syllabus, our calendar, our learning resources. That'll help you answer all those questions, and then you'll really be in a good position. You'll have a feel for how this is all going to run. And then at the bottom, I've got a handful of questions just to get to know you guys. Just some kind of what's your major and some hobbies and that sort of thing, just to kind of help me understand where you guys are all coming from. And so complete those. You can email them to me. Email them to me early. That's your first assignment technically. So that's due at the end of Monday, which is our first meeting. So definitely you can submit that early, submit it before or on Monday. And that's really what I wanted to say. So it'll be good to see you guys at our first live meeting. And certainly, if you've got other questions before then, you can email me that as well.